Be trying to get these requests out for you guys. So we got the 13 mini and the iPhone 7. This is an excellent upgrade for iPhone 7 users. You're getting a really nice upgrade in almost every category here. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get started with the price here. So iPhone 7 is going for 125 bucks. Extremely solid $100 phone, to be honest. And then you have the 13 mini going for 700 bucks here. So let's get into the hardware. So the 13 mini is definitely smaller or shorter than the iPhone 7 for sure here, but it is a little bit thicker than the 7. So one of the things I noticed is that they're both kind of the same weight. They just both feel the same weight in the hand. You are getting a more modern looking design with the 13 mini. It's a glass and metal phone. But with the iPhone 7, it has one of my favorite designs of all time for iPhones. I really love this all aluminum design, and this matte finish doesn't pick up fingerprints at all. That is a really awesome thing to me. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about the displays here. So with the 13 mini, we have the Super Retina XDR OLED display, extremely long name, HDR10 at 5.4 inches. Then you have 1080p 476 for the PPI. The iPhone 7 has an Retina IPS panel at 4.7 inches, and it is a 720p plus display, 326 for the PPI. So right off the bat, you will see that a bigger display in a smaller body. So you can see just they got rid of the big bezels that we have on the iPhone 7. So you get a more like full screen experience on the 13 mini. And also just the colors on the 13 mini are definitely more color accurate as well. Now I guess this is a downside for iPhone 7 users. I guess the one downside would be the notch. So you might not like the notch, but I do think that you will get accustomed to it extremely fast, like pretty much all iPhone users. Once you get accustomed to it, it's not that bad. But yeah, color wise, resolution wise, I mean, it just there's no comparison. It's just an extremely color accurate and very sharp display. Like I said, you're going from 720p to a 1080p resolution. So I think you'll really enjoy the display upgrade here. All right, let's talk about speed on both of these phones here. So they actually both run iOS 15, which is amazing for the iPhone 7. So the 13 mini does have the A15 chip, 128 gigs of internal storage and 4 gigs of RAM. The iPhone 7 has the A10 chip, and it also has 32 gigs of internal storage and 2 gigs of RAM. So you're getting much more storage on the 13 mini, and these are just the base models. Of course, you can upgrade if you want to. But yeah, as you can see, these Geekbench scores absolutely insane speeds. Now, I haven't seen these phones side by side in an app opening test, so I wonder if it's like a dramatic difference. It might not be. We're playing. Alright, so that was a pretty nice difference there. And then you can see the iPhone 7, while it's not a laggy device, it does have those little glitches and stutters and stuff like that, which you will not see on the newer iPhones. Hold on. Let's see if you can get that again. Boom. So again, not too bad, but definitely you'll notice that really the 13 mini is just going to be super snappy, especially when you're opening games and stuff like that. Seeing like that right there wasn't too bad. So it's not a slow device. It's just like sometimes it can lag a little bit. But as you can see, it's hanging with the 13 mini very well. Now your gaming performance is going to be kind of a dramatic difference here. So if you go ahead and open PUBG here, you will get significantly better graphics on PUBG with the 13 mini, and overall it's just going to be better for gaming in general. It doesn't get as hot as the iPhone 7, so there is a lot to like about gaming on the 13 mini versus the 7. And we're in. Alright, so here are the graphics settings. We can go all the way up to Ultra HD, HDR Extreme. On the 7, we have no extreme. We can go up to HDR high. Now, like I was saying with gaming, if you've been gaming on your 7, it is fairly good. And again, for $100, I really wasn't complaining, but it's just not going to play as smooth as the, the 13 mini here. The 13 mini is just buttery smooth compared to the 13 mini here. So like I said, overall your gaming experience is just going to be fantastic. And again, it doesn't get as hot. Because you definitely notice, playing this game not on extreme FPS, you definitely kind of notice that. Alright, let's go ahead and compare the stereo speakers. We'll start with the 13 mini, max volume. So you guys should be able to hear that it's pretty dramatic difference. It's just way louder on the 13 mini and way fuller sound, just more bass, more clear. So you get an extremely good speaker upgrade for watching movies, listening to music. It's going to be a very nice upgrade for you. Let's talk about getting into the phone, because this might not be a upgrade for you. So you have Face ID on here, which works flawlessly. I have no issues with it, but I know it's a lot of people, the reason why they hold on to these older iPhones is because of Touch ID. They really like Touch ID here, which I understand. Touch ID is very nice to have, especially with the whole mask thing that was going on. But like I said, once you get used to Face ID, it feels effortless. And like, yes, technically you can unlock the iPhone 7 a bit faster, because if I'm pulling it out of my pocket, I already know where to put my thumb. So I think that over time, you'll really like Face ID. It does feel like effortless to me, but I do get it. So it really depends on the person. So let's talk about a bit of the specs a little bit more. So you do have IP68 dust and water resistant on the 13 mini versus IP67 dust and water resistant on the 7. So much better water resistant rating on here. They both have NFC as well. And the 13 mini does have the MagSafe wireless charging and standard wireless charging. There's no wireless charging on the iPhone 7, so keep that in mind too. That's also a nice little perk to have. But other than that, the iPhone 7 still runs, everything perfectly fine. iMessage, FaceTime, you do have your widgets and stuff like that. So it's still a phenomenal device as far as, feature wise. So the biggest upgrade to me between these two phones, besides the display, is definitely the camera. So the 13 mini does have a 12 megapixel standard and a 12 megapixel ultra wide. So the iPhone 7, only has one camera. So you do have 4K video, 24, 30, or 60 FPS with a 12 megapixel selfie that shoots in 4K, 24, 25, 30, and 60 FPS. You're getting just much better shots overall on this phone. Just a bit more detail, better color accuracy on the 12 mini. And also the ultra wide is definitely a great secondary camera to have. You do have other couple modes like the cinematic mode on the 13 mini as well, which is really nice. It's basically like portrait video. So I think you'll be really pleased with the stills and the video quality upgrade on the 13 mini for sure. Now the iPhone 7, surprisingly, in good lighting, it takes great shots. Actually, I was pretty surprised. Now in bad lighting or low light, it just doesn't compare to the 13 mini at all. But I mean, in good lighting, it just takes phenomenal photos. I was really impressed with it. Obviously, for $125, I think that's excellent. It's a 12 megapixel standard, 4K 30, and then a 7 megapixel standard 1080p. If you watch some of my comparisons that I did with the side-by-side photo comparison with the 13, extremely close as far as some of those shots. So iPhone 7 camera is, it's obviously aged, you can tell, but especially with like the selfie cam. But other than that, it still takes great photos and good lighting. Alright, so this is also a massive upgrade. Battery life on the 13 mini is phenomenal. This is, I think, a big reason why a lot of 7 users are probably on the, deciding to upgrade, especially if your battery health is not that great. The 13 mini does have a 2,438 milliamp battery, 18-watt charging, and then you have, again, the wireless charging on here. The iPhone 7 does have a 1,960 milliamp battery. And man, the screen on difference is crazy. So you can get 6 hours and 30 minutes on the 13 mini pretty easily. The iPhone 7, I can usually get around 3 hours and 30 minutes on this phone. So the battery life, even with good battery health at 100%, this phone can probably only do like 4 hours of screen on time, maybe 4:30, depending on if you're a light user. But yeah, so the battery upgrade is going to be massive on the 13 mini. So basically, and also you do get 5G on this phone. So overall, just extremely solid upgrade. So if you're on the fence about upgrading, is it worth it? Definitely, I would say go to Best Buy, get your hands on one, just play with it in the store. You immediately be able to feel the difference, look at the cameras, look at the display, and then again, battery life is going to be great. So I would definitely pull the trigger. So be sure to let me know what you guys think. I'll catch you guys in the next one.